Hi, thank you for joining me. All right, we are starting with some oregano, and I'm doing 1 tablespoon, and I'll add these in the description box. So we're starting with that. Now we're adding some olive oil, 1 tablespoon of this. And some apple cider vinegar, but you can also use red wine vinegar as well. But I didn't have the red wine vinegar, so as a substitute, I used the vinegar, excuse me, with the mother. But I'll add both so you can have options depending on what you have on hand. And I just had to put the vinegar away. Excuse me. Now I'm adding some garlic powder. You can also use some, excuse me, gosh, some fresh garlic and just crushed up if you'd like to do that as well. But I didn't have any fresh garlic. All right. Now I'm going to do 1/4 teaspoon of, or actually I changed my mind. I did 1 teaspoon of salt because I knew right away, because I know how my taste is with salt. So I added a little more, but you can do less if you have to. And I'm adding a little more olive oil than what the directions said because it wasn't stirring very good. So you can, depending on how much you're making also, you can add more. I would suggest to add a little more than what you think you might need because when it comes to stirring it up, you definitely need enough to be able to stir it because the seasonings like to clump together. And now I'm just taste testing to see if I need more of anything. And I decided to add some more vinegar with the mother as well because it didn't taste quite vinegar-y enough. And it also just needed some more liquid. And you can measure that like I just did or not. I just did that just to make sure I didn't do too much. But I actually needed a little more liquid because when I had it on my salad, even though in the bowl it was enough to mix up, and that's what it looks like. But then once I put it on my salad, I realized I needed more. So, that's just a situation you're going to have to, like, once you've mixed it and everything, because it all depends on your taste and, more or less and stuff like that. And here's my salad. I'm going to put it on, but you can put this dressing on pretty much anything. You can even mix it in with pasta if you want. So it doesn't have to be a salad, but you can if you want. And as far as like the title says, tiny ingredient, but massive taste, the main core ingredient here is the garlic and the oregano. Although that's two, it's not just one. But they are, you know, of course, tiny ingredients, but with a big taste for sure. And I was just grabbing a fork so I can kind of spread it out a little bit. There you go. Hope you give it a try. Thanks.